This is a video to explain Year 9 options for students at Beacon Academy. So far in your time at school, we have chosen for you in the subjects that you've done, and that's been true in your 3 years at Beacon, and it was probably true for you in your school before that. So up until now, we've made the decision about which subjects you should do and how many hours you should have for each subject. In year 10 and 11, you get some choice in what you do. We're going to give you a choice between 4 different subjects or 4 different things that you can choose. And then after year 11, wherever you go, you have a completely free choice. So next year is a little bit between the two. So these are the things that we choose for you. So everybody carries on studying English and ultimately ends up with 2 GCSEs. So 1 in English language and 1 in English literature. Everybody continues with maths. Everybody continues with science. And let me explain more about that in a moment. Everybody continues with practical PE, the same you have been going to in year 7, 8 and 9. And everybody carries on with some personal development, which includes some RE. Now, science, you have a little choice. So everybody has science lessons. You'll actually get 10, so probably 1 a day. You get 10 a fortnight, so probably 1 a day. And everybody will continue with biology, chemistry and physics and ends up with what's called combined science, which is 2 GCSEs. But you can choose to do a little bit more than that and have 3 GCSEs. So you can choose to have a separate science and have biology, chemistry and physics separately and get 3 GCSEs. And that will take one of your options to do that because it takes a bit more time to get the triple science. So here are all the things that are available, and you need to choose 4 from these, and I should have included triple science on here also as one of the choices. So lots and lots of GCSEs, geography, history, French, German and so on. There are some vocational courses like sports science, a BTEC award in music, creative iMedia, child development. On the right hand side over here, you've got the things that you haven't seen before. So you've never done anything which is particularly sociology. You've done art, but you haven't really done anything with photography. You've done some technology, but not really engineering, and you've not really heard about child development. So possibly more to learn and read about for those. So you need to choose 4. So can you choose anything? Well, very nearly. We want to insist that you choose either geography or history. We think those are really useful and valuable things for you to learn about the world at large, to learn about the history, to learn about people. So we want to insist you do one of those. We also want to ask, but we're not going to insist, we're going to ask that you give serious thought to thinking about French or German. We know that people in later studies, when they look at A-levels, when they look for a job, when they look for university, people are really impressed with those who have a GCSE in a language. So we want you to give really serious thought to that. If you're doing pretty well at it, if you more or less enjoy it most of the time, that would be a great thing to continue with. We also want you to keep things reasonably broad. So we want to say that we're not going to let you do 2 different sorts of PE. We're not going to let you do art and photography. And we're not going to let you take product design and engineering. So we deliberately want you to make these fairly broad choices and not end up doing too many things which are very nearly the same. How do you choose? Well, a few straightforward questions, I guess, really. What things do you enjoy? So what lessons do you think I'm really looking forward to get to the day? Or as you look to what happens next year, you think I really look forward to doing that. I've never done sociology before, but it looks really interesting and I can imagine I would enjoy doing that. Also thinking about what you're good at. Maybe this is the time when you get those CKA results back. Maybe sometimes you haven't really needed to look too much at that standardized column. But the standardized column is trying to be really helpful to help you compare between different subjects. So it's all standardized to be the same way. So compared to everybody at Beacon, 100 in the standardized score means that you're average for year 9. So if you're looking at the subjects and you've got above 100, that says you're above average for year 9, or even just for you, look and see which of your standardized scores is the highest. That might be the best way of finding out what you're really good at. Maybe there's other research you can be doing to look into what this course is about or what it leads to. Maybe some of you already have some idea about careers and what you want to do in the future. And so some of your choices here might help with that. Please, please, please talk to us. Talk to your form tutors. Talk to the teachers that you know already and the subjects that you're doing already. And just as well, talk to other teachers. Talk to people and find out what you can. What are bad ways to choose? What do we want you to avoid thinking when you're choosing? Please don't choose something because it looks easy. GCSEs, all the things we offer in year 10 and 11, they're not easy. They're worth doing. They're a challenge, but they're not easy. Please don't choose something just because your friends are choosing it. Really can't promise that being with your friends is going to help particularly, and I really can't promise you'll be with your friends. You know, we often have more than one class for each subject, and depending on what your combination of subjects are, you may not end up in the same group as them. So please don't make I want to do the same as my friends an option. Maybe you get on really well with the teacher that you have now in year 9. Again, we really can't promise that that will be the teacher who's doing that, who's teaching that for you in year 10. So don't make the teacher be too much of an influence in what you choose. And also be a little bit careful in choosing something because it was something your brother did or something that one of your parents did. So try and choose things because it's what you want to be doing. Okay, and I guess as a kind of bottom line thing, really, this is you telling us what you prefer to be doing. We'll try really hard to make that work for everybody. If there's only one or two of you wanting to do a subject, we'll have to come back and say, I'm really sorry, we can't run a course for so few of you. We will, in January 2026, explain what the timings look like, which is basically the end of January. We'll remind you that Parents' Evening are coming in January, which might help you as well. And we'll share with you how you actually tell us what it is you want to do. Thank you.